AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. Big Red Rocking Chair on Elm off Adams in LeGrand. Go see the Daggett family. Their showroom's awesome. They have a huge selection of recliners, mattresses, home furnishings. Most of it's American made. Their showroom's beautiful. Northwest Furniture and Mattress. They want to make you comfortable in your own home. LHS Girls Wrestling had a very strong showing at the Classic this last weekend. They got second place, which is, awesome. This wrestling team, these girls, they're a 4A team. The only team that beat them was Thurston, a 5A team. And in girls wrestling, they have to do it a little different. In boys wrestling at the Classic, you see classifications. 5A wrestles 5A, 4A wrestles 4A. But in girls wrestling, because there's not quite as many teams, they have to combine some of the classifications. So, LeGrand was the best 4A team at that meet. And that meet is huge. It's the biggest dual tournament in Oregon of the year. The boys, they got third. They finished behind Sweet Home and Crook County, which are, two of the best teams. LeGrand, Sweet Home, and Crook County are the three best teams in the state. Now, this doesn't have anything to do with how they'll finish at state, because in this tournament, it's dual. It's a dual tournament, so you duel against another team in the bracket and you move forward. In state, it's all based on individuals and how much points they score. And you can qualify a certain amount of people at each weight. And in this tournament, it's just your 14 guys, one at every weight, against their top 14 guys, one at every weight. And if you beat them, you move on to the next school. And so LeGrand had a good showing, third place. The girls had a bunch of, 3 or 4 girls, I think, finished 7-0 on the weekend, which is, fantastic. Maddie Armstrong, Paige Allen, I know for sure both went 7-0. That's a good weekend when it comes to a dual tournament. The pictures were credit to Arlie Anderson and Jen Azure. Thanks a lot for those pictures. It's really, really awesome. The EOU men's hoops team split their Salem-Eugene trip this last weekend. They lost on Friday to Bushnell, but then they turned around on Saturday and beat Corbin, which was a huge win for them. They're 4-6 in the CCC. Right now they're in 7th place, which means if the season ended today, they'd make the tournament. So it's the top 8 teams in the CCC. So, and they looked really good against Corbin. I watched the game. It was like night and day compared to the weekend before. It really was. It was cool. The EOU women's basketball team saw Bev Slater pull down her 1,000th rebound. She became a member of the 1,000 rebound, the only member at EOU. So she's the only women's basketball player in history that has 1,000 rebounds at EOU. The cool thing is she's a part of the 1,000 rebound and 1,000 point club, which is a great thing. The EOU women's team, they won both of their games. They beat Bushnell 87-75 on Friday night, and they turned around and beat Corbin pretty handedly 87-55 on Saturday. Both teams host the Gooey Ducks of Evergreen State on Friday, and then they turn around and host Northwest on Saturday right up here at Quinn. LHS boys and girls basketball games over the weekend were canceled against Mac High, so they play tonight against Pendleton in GOL action right here in LeGrand. Get up there and support them. The girls tip off at 6. The boys tip off at 7:30. And then finally, the EOU men's wrestling team goes to the Missouri Valley Invite this weekend. So they're on the road, and so is the women's. The women are going to wrestle in Forest Grove against Linfield and Pacific on Friday, and then turn around and stay in Forest Grove and wrestle in the Boxer Open on Saturday. I'm going to talk just a little bit about wrestling because I got to see something really cool this weekend, but also something that makes wrestling one of the most unique sports there is. My son wrestles for Dallas. His team was in the championship of the 5A at the Classic against Redmond, the host. They beat Redmond earlier in the year in the Northwest Duels, and it came down to the heavyweights, and my son is the heavyweight for Dallas. And this is what makes wrestling so unique. Dallas was down 34-30 going into that match. So basically my son needs a major decision, a tech fall, or a pin for Dallas to win. Well, he doesn't get it. He beats the kid who got second place at state last year 4-0. And this is the only sport where you win and you beat yourself up. Because, he won 4-0.
Right.
Individually, but in order for his team to win, he needed to score at least 5 points.
Oh man.
And he only scored 3.
Yeah.
So they lose by a point.
Wow.
And so it's so crazy that wrestling, it's individual, but it's also team, especially when
Right.
you're at a dual tournament like this. And it's the one sport where you can win and still beat yourself up. It's so
Right.
weird.
Right.
It's a tough sport. Anyways, AM Sports Report brought to you by Northwest Furniture and Mattress. They want to make you comfortable in your own home.